Yeah. I want to pivot this real quick to the Illinois side of things. And Norm, I said before the game, right, that I thought that Illinois was the kind of team that when you look at the way that you have to play to beat Michigan, that Illinois actually kind of has those pieces, right? They have size. They're really good on the glass in theory. They have bigs that can step out and pull players away from the basket to try to create the space for guards to get to the rim. We saw it against Wisconsin, right? Wisconsin had all their bigs make threes, and then the two Wisconsin guards, John Blackwell and Nick Boyd, were able to get to the paint and they were able to finish at the basket. And I thought that Illinois kind of has a similar roster build. Thinking about how this game played out, I actually thought Illinois got some of the shots they wanted. Their issue was on the defensive end. I don't think they played well enough, especially against the bigs. But I don't come away from this thinking that Illinois is any less of a team than I thought they were heading in. I just thought they had a night where they didn't make the threes that they kind of scheme and bet on themselves being able to make. I'm still in on Illinois being a team that can get to a Final Four.
I believe they can. They're very, very talented. They can really shoot the ball. Obviously, they've got many players that can do that. Boswell's working himself back in after being out some, and those things. Obviously, Keaton Wagler didn't shoot it great, but he still scored 23 points. They do have a lot of weapons. I do think the key is going to be on the defensive end for them. They've got to be able to guard. They got to be able to guard some of those quick guards that I was talking about. The other thing is teams are going to, if you watch Illinois play, they play like a European team, obviously, because they have so many foreign guys on the team. And
I
that's
wonder
the
why,
drive, the
Norm. I
kick.
wonder why that
Yeah,
is.
exactly. That is the drive, the kick, extra pass, that type stuff. If you can keep them out of that and make it where they're doing more dribbling, where they're playing more one-on-one situations, I think that hurts their team and hurts their flow offensively. And I think Michigan was able to do that tonight against them.
Yep.
But I still
Henson?
think they're a terrific team and they've got a chance.
I think Michigan said we're gonna drag these boys down to the mud, right? European guys, right? They it is what it is. They don't like to be touched. They're not as physical as some bigs are. Very skilled, but I think when you had guys like Landenberg and Morez Johnson Jr. and Mara kind of just not bullying, but hey, look, like we not gonna let you just run around and slice and dice and carve us up, and we're gonna crash the glass. I think that was the big difference, right? Like we're gonna be physical with these guys. They don't want to bang all night. They want to shoot threes. They want to, backdoor cut, screen and rolls, pop, pick and pop. Michigan wasn't going for that, and that's what you have to do to a team with skilled bigs that aren't as physical as maybe some of the American bigs. And Michigan had a perfect game plan. We're gonna drag you down to the mud. Let's see what you do down there, and it didn't go well for them.
Yeah. I mean, look, Michigan it felt like they got every single loose ball, every single 50-50 ball, especially in the first half.
Hey,
And they were kind
dunking,
of
yelling,
trying.
like what I'm saying. No, they're not
Yeah.
getting like it wasn't fouling. Mars dunking on there. Like, listen, they that was the story of the game. So
Yep. I also want to give a little bit of a shout out to Morris Johnson because he is a guy who he walked into something of a hornet's nest tonight. Like we saw the clown face that was put out there. The fans definitely had a little bit of fun reminding Morris that he was at Illinois last year, even if it depends on who you ask what happened in that situation when he was leaving Illinois. But I will say he had 19 and 11. There was a play in the first half where he was in transition, and Jake Davis, who had some comments during the week about Morez, went up to try to go vertical on a play at the rim, and Morez went through him and knocked him out of the air, and Jake Davis landed right on his back. And then like 3 possessions later, Morez Johnson had a tip dunk on Jake Davis, and you could see his eyes. They zoomed in on the replay before they went to break, and he dunked it, and then he just looked at Jake, and he gave him one of these like, yeah, okay. See you, buddy. Norm, what do you make of that performance from Morez Johnson? He's a difference maker for this group.
I thought he was terrific. His energy and his force with the way he plays is terrific. It's important for their team for him to play that way. I think when you go into an environment like that, it's a hornet's nest. What you should do is kind of what he did. Now I know he got boisterous a little bit, but let your play do the talking. Don't say anything. Just say, hey, watch my play, watch what I do. And I thought he did that tonight. I thought he was very, very aggressive and played his game, but he played with a lot of force, like Henson was talking about. He was bullying guys around. He was bullying them around and said, no, I'm the big dog, not you. And that's how he played.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Go ahead, John.
No, I mean, it was the best game of the month for him. The best game of this month,
Mhm.
best game that I've probably seen him play to date. With a little extra motivation, obviously, he played with force. He played with passion. Um, he's another guy that probably won't be a first round pick. He probably won't be there next year. I think he gets drafted in the first round as well. So that, they've got 3 first round bigs on their front line. It's gonna be tough to beat.
Yeah, that's the tough thing about him, man. When you look at just kind of who can beat them, right? It's who has the size and the physicality and the athleticism to match up with those 3 guys. And then when they go with that, I'm doing air quotes here for the people listening on Sirius XM, the smaller lineup where they have Yaxel at the 4 and Morris Johnson at the 5, which is like a normal team's big lineup. How do you deal with the switching and how do you deal with the mismatches? And it just that's just such a good team, man. They're so much fun to watch, and credit to Dusty and Mike Boynton and the rest of that staff for putting that group together. We got to hit a break. On the other side, we have Rocco Miller joining us, one of our bracketologists, who's going to help us talk through bubble teams, seed lines, and whether or not Florida has a chance to actually get up to that number 1 seed.